Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. One of the topics, tumultzach in the Welt, is the issue of obesity and how people are eating too much and people don't know how many calories to consume every day. And let's see what the Torah says about this topic, and perhaps we could see a Torah perspective. And the question also becomes, is it a flat number of calories for all individuals, male or female? Or maybe there is a difference between male and female concerning the calories or how much a person should eat every day. First of all, I'd like to introduce this by quoting a Gemara in Eruvin. The Gemara in Eruvin, Daf Pei Gimel Amud Beis, says, Ha'oichel k'midah zu, one who eats this measure every day. Which measure? The measure of Isas Hamidbar. The Gemara talks about the size of a dough, what point you have to give challah from. So if he eats that amount every day, Harei zeh bari, that is considered a healthy person, umevoirach, and he is blessed. What is the amount? So the amount is, as we know from the shear of a challah, which is approximately, in the halachic terms, 43 and a fifth beitzim. The size of 43 and a fifth beitzim a day, that's the amount of a bari, a healthy person, umevoirach, and a blessed person. What does blessing have to do here? So Rashi says that Shlomo Melech in Mishlei says, Ubeten rishoim techsar, the stomach of the wicked will always be lacking. In other words, he associates a rasha to somebody who's always looking to eat. So if he satisfies himself with this amount, he's not only a bari, that's the healthy amount of food, but he's also mevairach. Yeser al kain, if somebody eats more than that, he's a ravsan, he's a glutton. Pachos mikan, if he eats less than that, mikulkol b'meyav, his digestive system, he's hurting that, he's damaging his stomach. So we see a number, however you were to translate the 43.5 beitzim into today's numbers. But a meichel bari this is what the Gemara says. Now, here there is a question. The question that some achrayim ask, that this is a contradiction, this amount of 43.5 beitzim a day is a meichel bari, seems to be a contradiction to our Gemara in Ksubos. The Gemara in Ksubos discusses the responsibility that a husband has when he marries, what obligations does he take upon himself, and one of the obligations is obviously to support his family, to give them food. Now, there is the menschliche thing to do. The menschliche thing to do is, obviously, however luxurious your meals are, you share with your wife. But then let's talk about the letter of the law. What must you provide? So the halacha says that a person must provide to his wife mazen shtei sudos, enough for 2 meals, daily 2 meals. Shabbos you'll have to provide 3 meals, shalosh sudos, whatever, it's a separate issue. But the Gemara in Ksubos Daf Samach Dalet says he must provide, he takes upon himself to provide 2 meals. Each meal is together is 6 beitzim. So there's a big difference between 6 beitzim a day to 43.5 beitzim a day. How does that work? So they bring from the name of Rabbeinu Yoina a fascinating difference. Men, because they work out in the field a lot and they sweat and they're moving around much more, so they bring from the Talmidei Rabbeinu Yoina that a male has to push and eat more. He has to eat more, so he has to consume 43.5 beitzim a day, whereas when you're talking about the obligation a man has to support his wife, a female doesn't need that much. They don't eat that much. They don't need that much, so he only has to obligate himself for 6 beitzim per day. However, they challenge this svara from our pasuk in Parshas Beshalach. In Parshas Beshalach, it says that the man fell every day, and it says, Hashem says that the man should be collected Ish lefi achloi. Ish lefi achloi means based on the household, as many people as there is in the household, male or female. That's how many months should be collected. What is the size of the mon? Oimer lagul goylus. Oimer is asiris sa'efer, is also the same amount as the Gemara says by Eruvin. That will apply for male or female. More than that, the Gemara says that if the mun was a miraculous type of food, not only that it was heaven sent. The Gemara in Yuma says that if there was ever a dispute between a husband and a wife, when the wife went off and possibly did the wrong thing, and the husband says she's to blame, and the wife says, I never did anything wrong, a miracle would happen with the daily mun. If the mun fell close to the husband's home, then that was a proof that the husband was correct. If the extra additional part of the mun to supply for the woman fell by her father's home, that was a raya, that was a proof that she did do something wrong. So from the Gemara we see that when the Gemara describes this, the Gemara says, if her Omer fell there, then that was wherever it fell, that was the proof if she was guilty or not. So it's clearly proven that there was the Omer for the male and there was an Omer for the female. So this it's brought from the Talmidei Rabbeinu Yonah that male and female consume different is not necessarily true. So the Noda B'Yehuda actually quotes this, and he says, how could you bring a proof from what the Gemara says about the mun? First of all, it doesn't say that they all ate the whole portion they got. It says Omer fell. I don't know if the man or the woman was obligated to finish the whole Omer. So maybe it could still be that there is a difference between the male and female, because they got their Omer, but not everybody finished what they were supposed to get. And second of all the Gemara is saying is wherever it fell, that was a proof how to prove the dispute, how to answer the dispute. It doesn't say anything about how much they ate. And perhaps you could add something else. The Omer, the mun, wasn't the only thing they had. The pasuk clearly says, this is not what the Noda B'Yehuda says, but the pasuk clearly says that you have bread, lechem b'boker, or basar b'erev. The Yidden had the slav for periods of time. There was meat. So this whole concept that there is perhaps a measurement that you could prove from the mun, I don't know. And second of all, to make a difference between male and female is eichenisht. According to the Noda B'Yehuda, according to what I just said, not necessarily true. So we have to establish that what the Gemara says, Hareza Bari Umevayrach, applies by both, and the shear is 43.5 beitzim.